I want to apologize once again. So, I don't know if maybe it's like the PlayStation not communicating with the broadcast, or the broadcast just doing things premature of its own volition. But it did cut the previous stream abruptly. How irritating can it possibly get, right?
Scan detected.
I feel like I'm going to have to pre-record all of my videos and then just put them on YouTube. But again, those have a duration. But, so, welcome back, by the way, to the part 2 of What Are We Going to Do? Good grief. I'm heading back to Shinra. After a very successful hunt of almost 2.4 million credits, almost paying off the Eagle and the Sidewinder that I built. Figured it would be good to return and build a hull. Then after that, it will be the Adder, which is a good multi-purpose, pretty much the first official pirating ship you can get your hands on, for what it's worth. So, that being said, I'm going to cover the Hauler and the Adder next in this video, praying that everything works according to plan, and there are no more technical difficulties or issues that arise. Fingers crossed, fellas. So, to finish off the diagnosis, the Eagle in its combat potential is a very good pack hunting ship. This is the perfect ship to play with a bunch of friends, just kind of doing random things with it, honestly, because you can customize and have a lot of really fun builds, so long as you're doing it with friends. Because doing anything solo with the Eagle, in my opinion, it just does not have enough versatility as a fighter to be able to hang with larger ships. That being said, unless you're packing railguns and you're just one of those really detestable people of whom I shall not speak anymore of, unless you're packing railguns, this ship by itself lacks a few things.
Frameshift drive charging.
Like energy capacity, overall larger weapon categories. That's really the only things that I could honestly say would be its negatives. And energy and weapon capability make a lot of, are very important when you're dealing in, combat, obviously. Home sweet home. Almost.
Frameshift drive charging.
Of all the games, it's like the lighting, the details, everything's just so nice. And even on the PC edition with Space Legs, everything looks phenomenal. Comparing it to, all these games that have been coming out lately with the best graphics, the best this, the best that, they still look like, I don't know, there's just not a sense of, I don't know, what's the word for it? I don't know, maybe that's just me personally. But I find like this game just has a certain realistic quality to it, despite the obvious. I don't know. Shout it if you, comment if you agree or disagree. I'd like to hear some opinions. I mean, obviously, it trumps other space games like, No Man's Sky. Or, what's the one that came? Starfield. Really wanted to play that, but yeah, I don't know. After all the reviews and after everything kind of damn near fell out on Starfield, it's like I don't even really want to touch it. And then what was the other game that was kind of spacey themed? Oh hell, I can't remember. It was the one. Oh, now I'm not gonna be able to remember. Go figure. Anyway, doesn't matter. Aside for this, I know that this game's lifespan is coming to a close at some point. Because it is an old game. And the console edition is not receiving any further updates with regards to the compatibility issues and the general population of the players. There's not enough of us to justify updating the game on console. And I doubt there's enough players on PC that really justifies all the work being put into this game. Which is very sad. Because, God, this game is such a gem. Around like a crack monkey, or engaging in the most primitive puzzles. Games like these are going to die out because they're too much for the average person. There's too much going on. People who like flight simulators and space games will adore a game like this. Everyone else, which makes up like 95% of the rest of the players on the planet, gamers, they're gonna look at a game like this and be like, not fun. Meanwhile, they'll get their rocks off to jiggle physics on Fortnite. Yes, I threw shade. I don't care. Fight me. Alright. So, we have our Sidewinder, our Anaconda, and of course, our Eagle. We're going to go ahead and play with the Holder now. So, the Holder. This is the official progression from the Sidewinder to something that's able to actually carry significant cargo for its size. It's still a small ship, and frankly, realistically, this feels like the most natural thing that we could have possibly built and threw into space. Like, this just looks like a space shuttle that we would build and just throw up there. Like, yeah, good enough. It's got enough thrusters. Yeet! And just threw it up into space because funny. The Hauler is an even better example of this, as the Hauler, in my opinion, actually looks like a legitimate space shuttle. So, okay, let me show you how to outfit a Hauler properly. Of course, you can keep the one gun on here, but let's face it, it's one gun. Just get rid of it. It's just taking up unnecessary weight, which is going to prevent you from jumping longer distances. Plus, it's going to slow you down if you have to run from somebody, which are the two primary things here. Honestly, quit worrying about a shield generator. You do not need it. The odds of you being interdicted successfully in a small ship, just go play a different game. I mean, honestly, let's just speak the facts here. So, okay, you're going to look for the most cargo capacity that you could slap on this thing. Maybe you're one of those Fortniters. Who knows? Not that. We're going to cargo racks. Just straight up cargo racks, as many as we can grab. All of them, preferably. This is going to leave us with a solid 22, not removing any of the assists that we get from the default package. We are going to just simply use our blank slots for whatever we can use. We will always try to keep advanced docking computers, planetary approach suites, and Super Cruise Assist when possible. If it's not possible, we'll buy it. If it's not possible to buy, then we'll work with what we got. But in general, everything else is fair game. Because, let's face it, not all of us can park these things. I don't blame you, don't worry. You do not need to worry about utility mounts. This is a cargo hauler. There are no utility mounts that help cargo. Unless you want to put a chafe launcher, which, a heat sink launcher and a chafe launcher, either one. Pick your poison. Honestly, the heat sink launcher would probably be better. As far as the power, the core internals, everything should be derated, with the exception of your frameshift drive. This may look very similar to an exploration build, and that's because, for lack of a better term, it is. You are going to be capitalizing on high jump range to get you back and forth from point to point. Everything else should be very lightweight, which will allow you to jump further distances. This should be one of the cheapest ships in your arsenal, if you decide to collect all the ships. Okay. That's really it. That's it. No weapons, no utilities, unless, God forbid, you just really want something. Bare minimum core internals. Go D-rate so everything's lightweight. Keep a maxed out frameshift drive. Optionals should be solid cargo racks. No shields. There's no reason for shields. You're not playing online, or you're not in dangerous territory. You don't need it. So, now that we have this established, let's go ahead and give us a little bit of a paint job. I still need to bling out the eagle, but we can worry about that later. We, of course, have the Hauler Azure, which kind of looks like shit. Not going to lie. I am not going to buy a special pack for this, but God, that Stygian paint job looks nice. Actually, the terrain yellow and the terrain black actually do look kind of good. But Pirate Faction's not horrible either. Chrome and gold are respectively pretty decent. Black that would honestly be the ideal paint job here. We're going to go ahead and go with the Azure. Why not? We're not going to worry about any of the other... This doesn't have any body kits. That's really strange. Okay, well, be that as it may. The hauler's entire purpose should be hauling shit, obviously. Here we have a few options. We can actually bring that to new nets. Okay, we could turn a quick profit on this. 22, buy it.
Cargo hold at
We are
maximum
going
capacity.
to Shriver Hub in new nets. Should look familiar. We've been there already. That looks alright. It is now raining at my house. Nice.
Landing gear retracted.
Landing restraints lifted. You are go for departure.
Oh, so. Well, as I said, the hauler's main intentional purpose has a very high jump range, which allows the ship to just zoom across the galaxy while you are delivering whatever the fuck it is you're bringing around the galaxy.
Charge detected.
Let's go ahead and grab those scans, and we are good to go. Alright. We go everything engines and system. All engine to system, honestly, because that's all we need. This is not going to be a combat ship, so we don't need to be super fast, but we do need to get away from the starport relatively quickly in order to turn those profits. So let's go ahead and do that. So let's face it, the longer you're flying, the less money you're making. The quicker you can make your stops, the better off you are. And that's really space trucking 101. Point A to point B, make as much money as quickly as you can. Space trucking. It's probably the easiest thing you can do. Just be careful for pirates. In fact, it really wouldn't surprise me if we run into one or two ourselves. At 10,000 light seconds, we probably will, and that's perfectly fine. I'm going to go ahead and try and lock onto Shriver Hub. We get our Super Cruise Assist on, and we're going to drop our speed. When I say drop our speed, Super Cruise Assist is going to set the ship at a certain speed and roll with it. You can alter your speed by accelerating or decelerating even with Super Cruise Assist active. And as soon as you turn away from your target, you'll either drop or gain speed. You do this, you want to lower your speed as much as possible, just in case you get interdicted. You can immediately lose as much speed as is possible to where you're not screwing yourself over and overshooting the delivery point. It's happened to all of us. It's the loop of shame. Take your legs. So let's see. We bought these for 2,000 something. I think it was 2,500 a piece. The galactic average is 3,100. This place is buying them up for, I think it said 8,100 or something like that. That's a pretty big profit. Now, granted, we are driving a tiny ship, so the amount of money we're making is not substantial. But I spent 56,000 credits on material, on the product. So I should at least make that and almost double. Not double. Good grief. If I bought it for 2,500 and they're buying it for 8,100, I should almost, I'm going to guarantee triple my my amount of money. Silly me. Sorry. The math was not mathing. While we have this pleasant little flight, I will be right back and I'm going to fix me something to drink. Alright, lads and lady, I have returned. Lads and ladies. Grief. We've got about a minute and a half flight time. Sounds about right. Let's see. Not gonna lie, I kind of miss when the game had the little news broadcasts, because that used to honestly be really cool to just listen to in the background, but, it is what it is. Tell you what, we're almost there. I will be right back once more. Alrighty. I have returned once again. Doesn't that just look like a giant shit stain in the middle of space?